Big Drive Energy Hump Day edition. We're back. We've got a signature event coming up this week. So we're going to preview the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow. Talk about who's next, because last year this was Wyndham Clark's first win. And
his springboard.
His springboard, which you called. Shouts to you. All the credit.
That clip.
All the credit to you. None of the credit if you're wrong this week. But we're going to find some players that we think could win their first tour event, or maybe it's their second, and really springboard their career and become one of the better players on the tour. There's also a big change in the grip world for those of you golf club, not nerds, but we'll call them nerds.
Aficionados.
Yeah, there's a big change in the golf grip world. Also, Rory McIlroy, quote unquote, stepping down, but stepping back.
Step down from a position you never had.
Well, yeah, bowing out maybe.
Yeah, there
bowing
you go.
out
That's
is
a good way to put
the
it.
proper term. And then also we're going to talk about some hats, because we love golf hats. Pins and Aces, shout out Pins and Aces. They make great hats, but there's a new phenomenon in the golf world with the type of hat, and we've got a few funny ones and want to talk about some that we would do. So, and of course, Wednesday edition, fairway or four. We did it with Gizmo last week. It was pretty fun. Great pod with him. If you're following us on Instagram, make sure to go comment on our pinned post. We are giving away a Blue Tees Player Plus speaker this weekend-ish, Friday, Saturday maybe. So make sure you go comment a Golfing Buddy on there. You have to be following us, Nick Gismondi, and Blue Tees Golf on Instagram. We're going to be giving that away, and we'll be doing this more often. So shout out to Blue Tees. We're about to get some Player Plus stuff in ourselves, be jamming on the golf course, party mode, etc. All right, let's tee it up. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Dude, the sketch thing in general is hilarious to me.
We'll have a video coming out of the sketch reenactment.
Yeah, we've got a good sketch.
I forgot we did that one.
Skit.
Skit. Yeah, I'm not a huge Twitch streamer fan, but I feel like I've never seen a rise to stardom like this. Like we're going to talk about PGA Tour players that could be on the come up and, potentially win a major. He went from being a mini tour player to being Scotty Scheffler of like streaming.
Yeah, I saw a TikTok of him yesterday, and he was talking about, it was like the life of sketch, and it was in those like weird modes, like where it's
like going, a timeline type of thing.
Yeah, kind of like a timeline thing, but also the like weird voiceover.
Oh yeah,
and
I don't like that.
But it was kind of crazy to see his rise to what he is. But let me call out, I'm sorry, I think it's maybe an age thing, and maybe not, because we have some older friends that watch Twitch, but I'm so far out on I don't even play video games necessarily.
Yeah.
I'm even more far out on actually watching someone else play them. Unless there's some comedic stuff, like that's the thing of watching him. He's funny. But the idea of like watching people play video games is if they're like good at it or like trying to like miss me with that.
No, I totally agree. And I was actually talking to John Riskin. We mentioned him a few times. He's like what is his position technically?
He's like the director of sales at
Director of sales here. So he worked for an esports team previously, which I did not know. And he said they figured that only 8% of people that play video games watch other people play video games. So either that's just an absolute shitload of people playing video games, or there's really not very many people watching other people play video games. Like, what percentage of the population do you think plays video games? Like on a consistent basis?
30?
30%?
I'd give it.
Marissa, what do you think? What do you think of a grown man playing video games like as a hobby? Does your husband play video games?
He doesn't.
Okay. So you're out on it then.
Well, so his uncle was on the team who made the Xbox. So
that's sick.
Like Christian has the full setup, and anytime a new one comes out, whether it's a new Xbox or like game, we have it.
Okay.
But he's not into that, like hiking and that kind of stuff is more his thing. But I think our generation was like the big gamer generation.
Well, we played video games all the time as kids. Like our summer routine was to get up at like 6 a.m. because we were up so early, and we'd go down to our like game room and play Madden against each other. That was like we did that every morning.
I think it's fine. Like, I mean, if you're just playing video games, this is a woman's perspective. If you're just playing video games, then maybe that's a little concerning. I don't know if
if you have no other hobbies, like if that is your only release. I feel like the only chicks that say they're okay with men playing video games are the women that are with dudes that play video games. I mean, because they're like justifying it to themselves. But if they were not with somebody and they objectively had to just sit there and watch a dude play video games for 3 or 4 hours, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, if you have nothing else, and you know, I'm not, everybody, it's fine. It's like everything else. It's in moderation. If you play an hour here, an hour there, whatever, but there's dudes I think that go home from work and just do nothing but play video games the rest of the night. Yeah. And that's crazy to me.
I think if you like I'm a big believer, like Christian, like I said, likes hiking. I'm not particularly a hiker. I'll do it. But if he goes and does that, then I'm allowed to go do my own thing that I like doing. So mine would be like the gym. So, but like you said, moderation. I think if you're just at home all day playing video games, then no.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily saying the women or the significant other need to sit there and watch them play video games. Like, go do your thing. But I just generally feel like dudes that are playing that much video games don't necessarily have aspirations to do much else. Because there's really... It is like video games are strictly enjoyment. You get literally nothing secondary out of it. It's not exercise. It's not, I guess it's maybe mental, like release or stimulation. Yeah, like maybe you're fighting off Alzheimer's or something. Who knows what study they've come out with. But overall, it just feels like video games are, and I don't even know how we got on this topic.
Sketch.
Well, yeah, sketch. But I just don't think that people that play that much video games aspire to do much more.
Have you seen the guys that like play too much and now they have an indent of their like
oh my god, that is so
headset
bad
on their head? Like you can actually physically see it.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's like,
to me, video games, two thoughts I have. One is playing video games is where I'm justifying this for the record.
Okay.
Playing video games is worse than just being obsessed with sports like we are, because like I'll watch a sporting event through 3 hours straight, but I'm not like with a headset on. I can step away. I can go back.
There's commercials.
I can do things that, you know, if somebody else was like just sitting there watching me, like it's not fun to me.
Yeah.
But number two, I think with video games, to me, it's like an all or nothing proposition. I feel like you're either obsessed with them or you don't play them.
Yeah.
You know, like, and when I say don't play them, like I guess I haven't, when I was in the Madden League, I was playing once every 2 or 3 days. But other than that, I was not on the machine at all.
You bugged me with that shit. You being in a Madden League is...
It was fun.
No, I get it. But
it was too much. I literally quit. I was like, this is too much.
You quit the league?
Oh, yeah. I quit the league months ago.
Well, you have a child, I guess, so that makes sense. But you used to ask me to be like a real-life Twitch streamer. You asked me to watch you like practice and play and like make your roster. And I'm like, bro, there is nothing in this world that disinterests me more than watching you play video games. Like so you actually in real life, and I guess it's because I'm your brother and you want me to like see your team and shit and be stoked about it for you. But
I wanted us to share a nice moment and you just shit on it.
We share enough moments together. We share sports. We share, I don't need to be involved in your video games. I will say during COVID
was great for video games because you could actually hang out with your friends or talk to your friends. Like
the day that COVID hit, I went and bought a whole new Xbox setup and Call of Duty and all of that, and we would have like Friday Night Warzone and shit like that. But then I legit haven't touched it since like April or May of 2020. So that was just a waste of $500. But yeah, just not a huge video game guy. But I think it actually is funny that Sketch streams football. Because not like who wants, just like what I was mentioning, who wants to watch somebody else play football? Like Call of Duty's crazy because it takes a lot of a skill and there's a lot of different moving parts. Football, you're literally calling a play, running a play. You're connected to one player and that is it. So there's really got to be entertainment value. And he definitely brings that to the table, which I respect.
Yeah, he's created a worldwide phenomenon.
I saw him hanging out with like George Kittle and shit the other night. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, good for him. It's just fucking crazy that these dudes become these internet sensations overnight. And that is truly like the beauty of this generation is any of us can be famous. Like there's no saying that one person can or can't be. Like you're not getting picked by a TV network or anything like that. You can post your shit on the internet, and if people like it, you're going to be famous. Like Miss Rachel, insane. So are you familiar with this? It's basically a kid show, but on YouTube. So this girl does this whole, what was like a kid show like hers growing up? Was it Blue's Clues?
Maybe, but her thing is it's all different and it's like learning, but to me it's just like things to distract your kid and learn versus like Blue's Clues is like a show that you just literally can just mull over and watch.
No,
like
Blue's Clues you learn shit. Yeah.
Well, maybe it is Blue's Clues then. I don't know. It's been so long since I watched something like that but yeah, Miss Rachel,
she's
savior.
like does her own YouTube video, like she's all self-produced. I guess she has like almost 10 million subscribers on YouTube. It's insane.
Well, and I think the worst part is in YouTube and bless you.
Thank you.
Streaming in general is you can make a job out of it now. So like if you're a kid and you love playing video games, you're like, well, I'll just make this my job.
Yeah.
And parents can't be like, well, if you just play video games your whole life, you're never going to amount to anything. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to play video games, get paid for it, and be a millionaire and be famous.
Yeah, I mean it's very, very few and far between. Like you think it's hard to become a professional athlete because there's so many more people trying to do, when you have the easiest job in the world, everybody wants to do it. So everybody's coming for your throat. Like being a professional athlete is not easy. You have to train, you have to be physically capable, but literally anybody can sit in front of a screen and play video games and be funny. Not be funny, but they can just be themselves, so it's a wild concept.
Well, it is. All right. So where do you want to go? This is a golf podcast. That's our one saying for the day.
Yep.
Where do you want to go first?
Let's talk about Rory first, because
Okay.
I think it's just fun having this drama. Maybe a long, like playing the long game here. Maybe this is a rivalry between Patrick Cantlay and Rory McIlroy that started at last year's Ryder Cup and now has boiled into the policy board of the PGA Tour, which is basically government for the PGA Tour, which is stupid, like super unnecessary. And Patrick Cantlay, so I guess from what I heard, which is actually, this is crazy, and Rory came out vehemently when LIV started and said, I hate LIV. This is like, you can legit find quotes almost exactly like that. And I guess now he is the one that wants to get the deal done so badly that's why he's really not coming back on the board, along with some, I think that's the initial excuse up here. And then there's some understated things like Patrick Cantlay and Rory don't like each other. But the big idea is that Rory wants a deal done with LIV and the other guys don't. So it is actually, we talked about Rory doing a complete 180. And now he is like standing, and I guess one of the ideas was, so he's from Ireland. He wanted the Irish Open to be on the national tour, be like a signature event, but for like, if it's going to be one global tour, he wanted a signature event to be the Irish Open. So all the best players from LIV, from the PGA at the Irish Open, which would be very cool. But I guess then you're taking all these PGA Tour players that are like, I don't want to travel to Australia and Europe and China and, the Middle East, China, South Africa. They'd have to travel all over the place. And a lot of these guys are probably like, well, now we're already making all the money we hoped we would make. Why go further? So now actually Rory does have golf's best interests in mind. And everybody else is like, well, you kind of served your purpose. Like you kind of got us where we wanted to go. I mean, I was looking at money, like, and we talk about it pretty frequently, but I looked at Sahith Theegala's season this year. He's made $6.5 million and he hasn't won. And we're less than halfway into the PGA Tour season.
Yeah, we've had one major.
Yeah. Like $6.5 million used to be the number one on the money list through an entire season, and that's winning majors. This dude has had like a couple of top 5s and a couple more top 10s, and he's legit made $6.5 million on the golf course. Like, and that's where I think that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's too far, but that's too far to have $6.5 million and you don't win. Where do you draw the line? So you tell me what you think, but now I never really hated Rory, but now I'm almost like in his corner more because he's actually trying to do what's best for the golf fans and the golf world.
Yeah, he's done a 180, but I have 2 theories on this.
Okay.
Before I get to those theories, I want to tell you guys about our friends over at Bet365. We got some hot bets coming out this week at the Wells Fargo Championship. A signature event followed by a major. We're in it back-to-back weeks, which I love. I love the majors because as much as I quote-unquote hate doing a show on Sunday, once we're doing it, I love it. And like being in the moment and recapping it as it's happening and
watching
fresh
it in real time.
Yeah, I love that. So we're going to have coverage for you of obviously the Wells Fargo this weekend and the PGA Championship, not the U.S. Open quite yet, PGA Championship next week. But we do all of our golf betting through Bet365. Use the code ALLCITY when you sign up, and you're getting $150 in bonus bets if you bet $5. That's it. Bet a $5, get $150 in bonus bets. Love using it for golf because there's great odds. We use the each way bets, and Bet365 makes it super simple for us that you just put 1 unit in, they double it, they put 1 on the winner, 1 on the each way of them placing 1 through 12, 1 through 8. By the way, on your graphic or on your pick this week, I changed it a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us, but there was a boost on your certain player.
Ooh,
but I had to cut it down to 1 through 8.
Okay.
So if he finishes 9 through 12, I'm going to be pissed. But they do a lot of cool boosts like that. Every week we get a 30% profit boost. I boosted my top guy this week. So check out Bet365. Use that code ALLCITY in all caps when you sign up. And you're going to get that great offer of $5 for 115 bonus bets or $1,000 first bet safety net.
Remember, real quick, the first week we were working with Bet365 and I they had a boosted parlay and I took it and I hit it for like $600. I think that's the only parlay I've ever hit in my life. And it was literally put together by Bet365 and boosted. So.
Yeah, and DNVR, our friends at DNVR, they have a boosted bet every single day.
That's sick.
And then you can scroll on the app if you're in Colorado, but must be 21 plus for Bet365 and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-GAMBLER will not give you picks. They've also got a live tracker of every drive, iron shot, and putt from your favorite player in real time with shot-by-shot data and interactive course visualizations all within the app. So you don't even have to scroll the PGA Tour app. You can watch the golf tournament through the Bet365 app, which is awesome. While we're watching the PGA Tour in Wells Fargo this weekend, we'll be drinking plenty of Coors Lights. I'm still sad about pouring one out the other night. Shout out to that Coors Light. It lasted in my fridge for as long as it did. But I've got a new 12-pack. The twist-off cans are the ultimate thing to have for me. Having a kid running around, he loves to stand up on everything now. So I can't just be having an empty beer sitting in my coffee table or on my couch because it's getting spilled. So I crack that can open. I can reseal it. And that's something I feel very invested in is resealable drinks.
1,000%.
It's so easy when you can just open something, have a little bit,
and
have
when
a little
it's
taste.
carbonated, you don't want it to go flat. You don't want to waste it.
Yeah, so and it's not just sitting out, doesn't spill, dogs, kids, etc. So when you need a moment to chill, grab a Coors Light. Coors Light is by far our favorite beer. We're going to be playing a lot more golf now that it's getting warmer and almost summertime. So grab a Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered to you straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Also, you think I'm looking good in my shades today? Well, that's a shout out to Shady Rays. We've got a code for you. AC, as in, what's a good thing for AC? Apple Cat.
Always chilling.
Always chilling. Coors Light, always chilling. 35. And you're saving 35% off of the great products of Shady Rays. They have the new Green Wolf golf glasses. We're both getting some in here pretty soon. We're going to rock them.
Apple Cat? That's literally is that how far your brain goes?
Well, that's like
You've been watching too much Miss Rachel, probably.
No, it would just be like A is an apple, C is an cat.
Okay, whatever.
AC35. That's the code for Shady Rays.
Always chilling 35. AC, yeah, there you go. I mean, makes sense.
An independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. They have durable frames, crystal clear optics, and the new polarized glasses for the golf course. They're incredible. I wear Shady Rays on the golf course. I have a pair in my bag just specifically that stay there, and I wear them on the podcast because they make me look a little less goofy than I already do. And if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, which mine go missing quite a bit, don't sweat it. They have an insane protection program. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. Also, if you order from Shady Rays and you don't like them, you can exchange them for a new pair or for worry-free return within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. They always have your back with personal and fast support. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use that code AC35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try it for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. All right, my takes on Rory.
Let's hear them.
This is going one of two ways, which are kind of related. I think number one, I think Rory's on his way to the LIV Tour at some point. I really do. I think he's done with the PGA Tour. He's going to make the jump. And this is like when you want to quit your job so you don't take on an additional task.
You think he's quiet quitting?
Right. Yeah. He's silent quitting out here. Because if he's on the what's the specific term?
Player policy board.
Player policy board. And he goes in there with his chest puffed out, player policy board, starts writing down policies, and then goes to the LIV Tour. He looks like even more of an asshole.
Starts writing down policies.
He starts signing
the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, he starts politicking in there. Then when he leaves for the LIV Tour, it's going to be even more of a cut of like all the other guys are going to hate him even more. Or not that they hate him. I think Rory's a generally likable guy, but like if they're playing on the PGA Tour past when he leaves, if he leaves, and they have to abide by policies that were put into place by him or partially by him that he doesn't have to follow. So I think it's like that inside where he's like, well, I may not be here forever, so I'm not going to sink my teeth into something else. Also, watching him on Full Swing, I feel like a lot of these extra things have put a lot of pressure on his life.
For sure.
And we forget that with professional athletes in general, that they are humans. And we just think they're robots that hit golf balls, baseballs, tennis balls, throw footballs, whatever, where I think it put a lot of stress on him as a human. Now he wants to just worry about what happens between teeing off on the first hole and through the 18th green, 4 days in a row, ideally, sometimes 2 for him. But ideally 4 days in a row, getting that next Masters or winning a few more majors and really cementing himself as one of the best golfers of all time in that below Tiger level.
Well, the crazy thing is that Rory would actually not have Masters exemptions. So he legitimately needs to consider.
I never considered that.
Yeah, he would not be in the Masters. Like John Rahm, lifetime exemption. Others, lifetime exemptions. Fucking Rory, he'd be getting the boot.
Well, but he would be able to win other majors and get in.
Yes, correct. But here's a thought. Maybe Rory is doing this in kind of a ploy to, maybe it's like a ultimatum type of situation where he goes to the PGA Tour in that fucking crooked fuck Jay Monahan and goes, hey, if we don't get this sorted out by the end of the season, I'm leaving. Like, and maybe he doesn't even say I'm leaving. Maybe he just floats out there like, we need to get this done by the end of the season or you're going to find out what's going to happen. And, we keep saying it, but the ultimate losers of this entire situation are golf fans. We have to sit through a tournament like we watched last weekend that, let's be real, nobody really gave a shit about.
I watched the approach shots on the 72nd hole. Full disclosure.
I didn't even.
Now, this weekend I'll be locked in.
Yes. Yeah, the signature events are great. The majors are obviously huge, but it is just watered down the product to the point where the non-signature, the non-larger events are just unwatchable. Basically, they might as well all be opposite field events because nobody really gives a shit. It honestly, it takes people enough. Like it's enough effort to get people to care about golf during majors. Like there's a lot of people that don't care about the PGA Championship because it is the kind of redheaded stepchild of the majors. Between you have the Masters, you have the U.S. Open, you have the Open Championship, and then you have the PGA. And it is a major. Like if Justin Thomas hadn't won one of these, he wouldn't have a major. And then everybody couldn't come at fucking me saying that Justin Thomas is a major winner because all he's won is the PGA and he hasn't done shit else. But that's neither here nor there. I kind of just wanted to get that dig in there because everybody's like, oh, he won majors. Yeah, you won a fucking PGA Championship. Congratulations. Does he have 2 PGAs? Do you think the PGA, his dad is like on the inside conspiring to get his son major wins at the PGA Championship? Him being a PGA pro? He
did win was it Oklahoma?
Yeah, that was the PGA.
Let's see. He has 15 career wins. He's won the Players, the 5th major. But no, the only major he won was
he won the one PGA.
Championship,
okay.
2022.
So yeah, that's basically not having a major. But long story short, all I'm saying is in order to get the most eyes on this game that we love at the highest level, it needs to happen. It needs to come together. And I'm glad that Rory has opened his eyes to that. But now it's gotten to the point where the PGA Tour has made it just good enough to where a lot of these PGA Tour guys, they don't necessarily want that competition back because 15 of the best dudes in the world are now on the LIV Tour. So they're like, you're telling me that I got to play against these dudes again, where guys like Ben Coles last week or whatever, they're not winning those events. Like, let's be real. There's going to be a handful of better players in each event, no matter what event it is, if LIV and the PGA Tour were to combine. Or the other side of that is they make one big tour and a lot of these dudes are left out of it and they don't want that either. So, now the PGA Tour players have it just good enough and just cushy enough. They've got like that desk job where you move your mouse around and like you go out and you shoot a couple of rounds under par, you make good money. You don't have to really aspire to do great things. You don't have to aspire to move up and to win majors, and you can just make a great living on the PGA Tour without really, and I'm not saying any of these dudes cash it in, but there is dudes out there that don't have major aspirations that are literally just looking to make a living, and that hurts them ultimately. So why would they want that?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think part of this with Rory and the PGA Tour / LIV Tour in general is they don't want to hurt themselves. Like that's the biggest thing is everybody's in it for themselves and
1,000%.
They say they're not. And that's what I constantly get annoyed with is definitely all the players that left for LIV were in it for themselves for the money part of it. But when Rory comes out and says like, I'm not leaving or I hate LIV and then flips, everybody's got to kind of be like, okay, well, what's in it for him to do this?
Well, look at Jon Rahm. He came out at first and said he hated LIV, and then he jumped. So people act shocked when other people change their minds. And it's like, guess what? Money talks.
Yep. And people can change their minds at any time.
Yeah.
It is
material change.
Yeah. It is shocking when I'm just talking about even the most like
basic
basic things in life, but minds can be changed. If you have an open mind about certain things or you feel a certain way, just fucking flip it.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, let's go to, we have some photos here. So I told you I would circle back to this on the LIV Tour.
You were
did.
texting me during the Avalanche game last night.
Last night I was scrubbing 6 hours of LIV coverage from this past weekend.
And I told him he didn't have to do it, and he said he low-key enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, so I was because it was fun to like find the tweets basically. So I'm on the YouTube watching LIV.
And you're just scrubbing.
And I'm like scrubbing. And then when I see the bottom of the tweet, I found it. So this first one we have here. Oh, I did not. Let me go to... I did not realize how small that was going to be. Okay, so this one here. So if you're not in the know, basically what happened last week from this past weekend is somebody got called out. The LIV Tour got called out by somebody for showing tweets that aren't real. So they showed tweets on the scoreboard, which is great. I tried to get myself on the scoreboard last night at Coors Field. but they are manufacturing tweets.
Real quick, who do you think is more watched, the LIV Tour or the Colorado Rockies? The LIV Tour.
Probably the LIV Tour.
Yeah.
Probably.
Their YouTube channel probably
They had 22,000 views on round 2.
Views? Oh my God, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Maybe they hire Sketch. He could fucking boost their numbies.
He could definitely boost their numbies. So this first one is a tweet that says, "Keep pushing up the table, Big Leashy," which is actually a great nickname / pushing up the table. Like
that sounds like an Australian
table.
thing. That sounds like an Australian
thing.
Yes,
and so the tweet is real. The tweet has come in as real. James _cross 94 actually did tweet this.
Where is he from?
He's from Australia.
Okay.
All right. So next one we have up here. All right. We have this one is from Blaze Haxel. 9-month-old doesn't like to sleep. Turn on at LIV Golf League and watch at Smash GC #LIV broadcast. This tweet is also real. This guy definitely tweeted this. 9-month-old doesn't like to sleep. I feel you, brother.
What a name. Blaze Haxel. That's a sick name.
Definitely. All of these people that are tweeting about this are definitely not American.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Well, they're getting international reach. You got to respect it.
Yeah, and it is in Singapore. So, all right. Next one.
I kind of want to go to Singapore. Would you go to Singapore?
Where? Thailand?
Yeah, it's in that region.
Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down for some Singapore.
Remember our geographical struggles here.
Yeah, so this one, can you see that?
Heading to Singapore to watch Sunday action. This is Jose Luna 94.
Oh, yes. Where is that? Right here. So I looked up his Twitter, Jose Luna 94, no tweets about Singapore, and all his tweets were in Spanish.
Oh.
So this is a completely, unless
this is a bot.
Unless they translated it into English for the broadcast, could be fair, but this tweet did not come from this guy.
Okay.
And all the tweets, when I was going through this, because I wanted them to all be fake just for the story, but when I was going through this, it's just kind of this like same language.
Yeah.
It's like go this, go, it's like this kind of
nothing creative.
Goofy, yeah.
Watch LIV, go to LIV, see LIV. Go this guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Go at Smash GC or whatever it is. All right. Next one. So that was fake. This one we've got Joe Pump at Street Taylor.
Oh, okay. I was like Street.
So it's awesome to see Cameron Tringale at the top. I fell asleep during the rain delay, and as soon as I arise, a high flyer is soaring. So it's just that language, and which could be very European. They talk
corny.
differently.
Do you know where this guy's from?
I do not, but this is a real tweet. Real tweet. I actually found his account and found the tweet.
Probably the most clever tweet we've read so far, and that's saying something.
Next one. We've got find the corresponding one. Weather delay for at LIV Golf means I can watch live from my bed this Saturday morning with a British flag. Rookie golfer 23. Lovely stuff. Real. Actual real tweet. And now the next one. This one is a real Range Goats guy, but T. Bordy. When you wake up in the UK and there's still a full
round of LIV Golf to get Brooks Koepka for the Smash GC
for the win and a Smash GC double. So this is fake. This is not on this guy's Twitter.
No shit.
100% look through his Twitter. So I put in my notes, or he deleted it, because this guy's a real Range Goats guy, and maybe tweeting this was reverse psychology. So he's trying to get the Range Goats up there higher. But this guy's Twitter was just hilarious because it's all like videos
shit.
Of his daughter playing golf, but all LIV based. So really? He's just all the way bought in.
Okay, so but he did not actually tweet this.
No, he did not actually tweet that specific thing. I saw his daughter's golf swing like 4 times.
How do you think the social goes about doing this?
I think with the planted ones that, allegedly, we'll just put that in there, allegedly planted, if you hashtag LIV Golf League, you can just search the social team can just search that hashtag, go through all of them, be like,
but look at the graphic. Like it's not an actual picture of a tweet. They're putting the at and then just a name under or a tweet under it. You see what I'm saying? The graphic does not have an actual X, link or whatever.
That's true. And then this one finally, this one is from, help me with the read.
Austin Meehan. Always nice to watch him live golf at night.
Yes, and this tweet came with a photo of Cameron Smith hitting a golf shot, but it is real. Real tweet from Austin Meehan. So shout out to Liv for showing some fake and some real tweets. I did my due diligence and dug in a little bit, which was actually kind of fun. And I did find myself watching a little bit of the broadcast. I'm still not fully into it. It has to be like a Sunday afternoon, guys I know or guys I like at the top of the leaderboard for me to really get into it.
Stacked leaderboard though.
And having Faraday helps. But yeah, it is kind of funny that there are some allegedly planted tweets in there that they're just trying to build up fake momentum.
Their broadcast is much better than the general PGA Tour broadcast. That reminds me, we didn't talk about the U.S. Open announcing.
We did mention it.
Okay, we mentioned it.
I believe
well, it's going to be Brandel Chambly it's Brandel Chambly and Brad Faxon for the U.S. Open, and just Brandel Chambly having another big job like this is the most painful possible thing, in my opinion. Every broadcast that he's on sucks. He should be opposite field events only. He can be like a morning guy on Morning Drive that 5 people watch, but do not put him on the biggest events in the world. That shit sends me up a wall. And the worst part is he clearly is so biased against LIV players. Why would you put him? That's like putting somebody in a jury that's biased towards the person that they're making a decision on. You know what I mean? He is so against LIV, and they're giving him the opportunity to just tear them down every chance they get, bash them. It just bugs the shit out of me. Like, especially with Kevin Kisner right there. You got Smiley Kaufman, you got Colt Knost, you've got these other dudes that are more than capable, and we've got, a bunch of 65 plus year olds calling. And one of the tweets is great. One of the first replies when they announced it, they're like, "Why don't we have somebody announce it who won past the persimmon era, like who did not play wooden golf clubs that is now announcing golf?" So I just had to voice my feelings on that quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough watch and a tough listen for sure.
Yeah,
because he sucks. It's going to be great if a LIV player wins.
Yeah,
for that reason, just to spite him specifically.
Bury that fucking loser.
Also, I think it'll be great if a LIV player wins the PGA Championship again. Like, that is the ultimate just fucking.
Dude, did you hear? Speaking of PGA, real quick, I know you're getting to that. They're gonna do like a little docu-series on Michael Block.
Oh my god!
They're releasing that like the week of the PGA, so I think like next week.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Holy shit! Get that guy off my TV.
I saw a tweet that was like, "The golf world is not prepared for how much Michael Block coverage
Yes.
they'll get starting next Monday."
I saw somebody tweet a GIF like pouring boiling water into their eyes, and it was like getting prepared for all the Michael Block content coming this week. Like, fucking A, this dude sucks.
Yeah.
And now he's trying to parlay into a YouTube, his son TikTok career. Like, bleh. Just not my thing.
Yeah, definitely going to block it out of my memory, if you will.
I'm going to hit that block button.
Real quick note that we were going to talk about. So the end of 100-year family business. This is from @GolfSpy_Barbaho. Superstroke announces it's buying Lamkin grips. Bob Lamkin told My Golf Spy 3 years ago this day might come, as none of his children were interested in just taking over the family business. That's got to be one of the biggest L's in the world. When your dad has built one of the biggest, if not the biggest, grip company for a sport game, whatever you want to call it, that is worldwide.
You walk into a $1 billion company.
Yeah, and you just don't want to do it. Unless they're just getting money anyways.
They have so much money anyway.
Yeah, that they don't care to work. But
can you imagine having such a jaded reality that you'd rather not take over a business that your dad like, I don't care what it is, but you think somehow that you can you want to go forge your own path. Better, good on you. But a lot of people don't realize that all the money that your dad has made has afforded you that availability to go discover it out, figure it out for yourself.
Yeah. So this is a statement from the Superstroke Golf CEO, Dean Dingham. It is with great pride and gratitude that we announce Lamkin, a golf grip brand with a 100-year history of breakthrough design and trusted products, is now a part of the Superstroke brand. We have always had the utmost respect for how the Lamkin family has put the needs and benefits of the golfer first in their grip design. If there's a grip company that's most aligned with Super Stroke's commitment to uncompromised research, design, and development to put the most useful performance tools in the hands of golfers, Lamkin has been that brand. It is an honor to bring Lamkin's wealth of product innovation into the Super Stroke family. Bob will still remain with the company and serve on the board of directors, but I think the bigger thing in this is, do you see, now this is may seem small if you don't golf a lot or haven't, like we grew up Lamkin grips, it was just the thing. When we get orders in at the golf course we worked at, like 90% of them were Lamkin. It was just easy. They had a lot of variety. They had,
See, I'm a Lamkin guy,
Yeah.
so this hurts me a little.
well, my question to you is this happening, if you will, this
Transaction.
deal, something on the horizon for a lot of golf brands in general?
Just
Or do you think golf is going to move forward? Because there's so many different golf brands, and I'm taking out the little guys, the guys that are just kind of forging their own path.
Are you
doing their
talking
own-
about like big companies trying to monopolize,
Correct.
like take competitors out of the market?
Yes, exactly. Like is in 10, let's say 10, 15 years from now, are Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, all those going to be like 3 companies? Like, is that where it's headed? Because we've already seen it with Top Golf combining with, now they're different brands.
That's
Callaway,
like a
but,
strategic partnering.
Yes, but like these partnerships where someone is just basically taking over a company and making it, not just adding to their portfolio, but making another company kind of go away that's a competitor.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think manufacturers are big enough to the point where that wouldn't happen because Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, they're all multi-billion-dollar companies. So I don't see that. I could see them remaining competitors because each of them still has a decent amount of the market share. But like golf balls, all these different things, and maybe that's a play that the smaller companies are trying to make, is build themselves up to the point where the other company feels like their competition, and if they have something proprietary or whatever, and that other company just buys them out. So yeah, I mean, 10 years from now, we could see like 1 or 2 grip brands. We could see, a handful of clothing brands because they're getting bought out. And that's just kind of it's business. It's all business at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I feel like we're going to get to a point where it's 3 or 4 companies, you play 3 or 4 things, because you can't keep going along as a golf company if you're not, if especially a bigger, like a club company, if you're not going to continue to, like, I just don't think every brand can fight against each other for a much longer time, because the technology will max out at some point.
Well, it already is maxed out. It's all marketing at this point. They're not doing anything new. All these brand new drivers that they're releasing, there's no new crazy technology. It's all the same shit packaged in a different wrapping paper. So it's all marketing anyways. It's really, the product innovation has been capped. The golf ball's capped, actually moving in the other direction. Iron technology, wood technology, all of it's capped. It's all just a marketing thing at this point. So.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's move into who's next. Who's got next? So as we said at the beginning, last year, we have always been on the Wyndham Clark train ever since high school. We thought he was going to be a great player. He's turned into better than I thought. I think I never saw him winning a major. I mean, granted, when you're 16, you don't really, but even throughout his whole beginning of his career, it kind of felt like he was the guy that was good enough to win, never ended up winning. But this time last year, he finally Colorado kid broke through, won the Wells Fargo Championship, it's always fun when a guy gets his first win, or like, it's not a signature event is won by a guy that's like, the Arnold Palmer last year, Kurt Kitayama, something like that, where they have a big leaderboard to take down.
Yeah.
And I was just actually looking at the leaderboard from last year. So he beat Xander Schauffele, Harris English, Tyrrell Hatton, Adam Scott, Tommy Fleetwood, Michael Kim, Sunjam, Max Homa, Corey Connors, Denny McCarthy. All those guys were in the top 10. Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas right there. Brendan
Todd.
I skipped over
Baller.
him. But who do you think is the guy that could win this event, win the Wells Fargo, but also parlay that into becoming a major winner? I'll go first because I got the low-hanging fruit. Yours was actually thoughtful. But my guy is also on my board this week. It's Cameron Young to me. And I saw a tweet yesterday that was like, the coach of the Timberwolves from the Jamal Murray situation, when Jamal threw the pack on the court, he said it's inexcusable and dangerous. and somebody put me betting Cam Young to win again, inexcusable and dangerous.
Yes.
I'm doing it. He's plus 1,800 on the Bet365 app, but he's the guy that has the talent.
He's got all the tools.
Yeah, he's like a Wyndham Clark, shorter Wyndham Clark duplicate. Does the same kind of stuff well, drives the ball amazing, has every shot in the bag, great short game, just has yet to put it together on the tour. So Cam Young for me, as most of you out there that follow golf would have said, definitely Mitchell called me out, but I'll take it. Low-hanging fruit, but hasn't won on the tour. Everybody picks him to win all the time. Plus 1,800 is crazy odds for a signature event for a guy that's never won.
Dude, but he gets those odds every week.
But once it happens, I feel like it's
open up the floodgates.
Yeah, it's a floodgate. And when we talk about this, I'll say how I looked at it is there's the Tiger Woods runs. We've talked about this. This is Tiger.
Yeah.
We take him out. Then I think Scotty Scheffler's run is on its own.
I
think his current run, 2-year span of winning majors, winning what he's won is on its own.
I think Jordan Spieth's run might have been up there back the 2014 to 2016 where he won 3 or 4 majors.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm talking like the last year to 2 years, 5-year run. Like Scotty Scheffler's got his own run. But then right below that is where Wyndham Clark's at, where he won a signature event, won a major. Run. Yeah. And won important tournaments. I'm not talking about winning 2 fall events. Yeah, exactly. So Cameron Young, I think that he's got the talent to do it. And I think it's could be the Wyndham Clark situation repeat, where not saying he can win this week. I hope he can, and I hope he does. But once he wins once, I think it's not going to be a one-off Peter Malnati, etc.
He'll definitely, once he gets that first dub, it'll be over the hump for him. I will say though that I just looked at his strokes gained stats this year. He's 125th in strokes gained putting. So that is the ultimate. Wyndham went through the same thing where he struggled with his putting when he was one of the best putters in the world and one of the best ball strikers. As his ball striking got better in his early to mid 20s, his putting declined, and then he went to that jailbird, found something. But Cam Young is not going to break through if he doesn't figure out something with the putter. Like, that's just flat out. You can't prove stats wrong. He's got to putt better because he's 46 in strokes gained total, 29th off the tee, 29th in approach, 125th in putting. So there is definitely a glaring error there.
Yeah, you can only be 125th in putting and win if you're Scotty Scheffler and you're top 5, top 1.
Yeah,
top 2, not 2.
Hitting it,
ball striking.
Yeah, 100%. So my guy, who I think is next up, and he has won one time, but not like an emphatic win, not a leapfrogging win, but is very widely talked about, same as Cam Young, is Sahith Theegala. He's been there. I feel like he's been in contention. So let's look at these results just so far this year. He has 5 top 10s in 12 events. So he is playing good golf. Let's see, statistically speaking, because he struggles off the tee with the driver, his ball striking is actually, holy shit. Never mind. I did not think he was driving the ball that well. This is like a green light special. He's 4th in strokes gained total on tour. 21st off the tee, 38th approach, 8th putting. So the dude does everything well. The one thing that the couple things are proximity and sand save. He's outside the top 100, but he is literally above average in every other statistical category this season. So the fact that he hasn't gotten a dub yet, did I put him on my betting card?
Mm-mm.
Oh, God damn it. Now this verbal is binding. He doesn't need to go on my physical betting card, but we're clipping this. I think Sahith could win this week, Sahith. And really springboard him into another atmosphere, into that upper echelon. Because right now he's like the fun story, on the TV show, all of that stuff. Everybody likes following him on social, but to ultimately move yourself into that next tier, he's got to get a big dub, and then follow it hopefully up with a major. But he definitely has that staying power. He's not going to be a one and done type of dude. I think he could win multiple times. I don't know about multiple majors, but I think he can win a major.
Yeah, I agree. I'll throw another not so low hanging fruit out there. This guy also has won, but 29 years old, Jake Knapp. He just won this year, and
when you watch the dude swing it, you're like, how has that dude not won a dozen times?
It's the greatest swing of all. Like, it's the greatest swing to watch.
It's like Freddie Couples of our generation.
Yeah, 100%. So he's got a win this year. He's got 4 top 10s already this year. He's 20th in the FedEx Cup rankings. And looking through some of his stats, approaching the green, he's 11th on tour. Off the tee, he's 133rd. So he's actually losing a lot of shots off the tee.
Which is wild because he hits it so fucking far.
Yeah, and strokes gained total, he's 35th. So he's not insanely good at anything, but he's also, to me, just has that vibe around him where you watch him swing it, bombs it, could win this week at Wells Fargo, but I think he'll have a springboard into like the late 20s, early 30s rise where he's not, because we've had first-time winners this year. We kind of went through that, 6 or 7 of them. I look at the Pavons, those guys, like, yeah, cool, good for them. Happy they won the event. But a guy like Knapp, to me, is like, all right, what's coming next?
Yeah, and I think a dude like him especially, his ceiling is so high because of his ball striking capability. Like, he has another gear like Cam Young that a lot of dudes don't have out there. Like, when you're getting north of 190 ball speed, up into the mid 190s, like when you want to step on it, there's just dudes, you're simply doing something that other guys cannot do. So that's always going to give you another gear that other guys don't have. So I think that's always like, you look at a dude's ceiling, it's like Joe Milton. He can throw it fucking 80 yards. His ceiling is high. That doesn't mean he's going to be great, but it gives it, there's other guys that just flat out can't do that. So, there's always kind of that ceiling there.
And here's some kind of fun of his driving stats. So his driving distance, he's 29th on tour, 307 average. His total driving, he's 24th on tour. Strokes gained off the tee, we said 133. He's 130th in distance from the edge of the fairway. So it's miss big is essentially his move. If he's missing big because he's 87th on tour. Style, he's 87th on tour in driving accuracy.
Okay,
so kind of middle of the packish, lower, but not 133rd bad. But if he misses the fairway, it's not a slight miss; it's a big miss.
That's what happens when you swing hard. Big swing, big miss.
Big swing, big miss. Let's get to our betting picks for this week at the Wells Fargo Championship. Once again, all picks brought to you by Bet365. We use them for all of our golf betting. Here we go. Wells Fargo Championship. We've added to this. I sent it to our lovely producer, Marissa Late. We've got on the actual one that we'll post, we've got a little shout out to Braden Thornberry.
Monday Q
Info gave all of us, everyone on Twitter that follows him, a little tip. He's plus 45,000 in the Myrtle Beach Classic this week.
That's insane.
Yeah, to win it, and then top 12. I don't know what the only thing I have a slight issue with on the each ways. I don't know what the top 12 is. I know what it is to win it.
Yeah, but you don't know the odds.
But I don't know the odds on what he is to top 12. But
each way 1 through 12, what is he?
Plus 45,000. That's what it is.
What the fuck?
So Monday Q Info, this is all on you if I lose my unit. But he said he guarantees him a top 10 this week.
I am going to put 50 beans, maybe even
life-changing style bet.
Yeah. Like, shut up.
No, if at 45,000 to 1.
Yeah. So that's 450 times. So that would be $2,250 on a $50 bet. So maybe just throw an even hunchski on him.
That'd be intense.
Maybe even a bigger. Just put a nut. Just
can you describe a nut?
Liquidate. Oh, well, we haven't gotten to these hats yet. I don't know if we're going to get to the hats.
We'll get to the hats. All right. So my picks: Cam Young plus 1,800. Cam Davis, a big Cam guy this week, and then Seamus Power. I had him. I just didn't move him. He was on my card last week. I have had the knack for picking a guy on my card and him winning the next week. So I'm going to leave him. Cam Young, Cam Davis, Seamus Power.
Max, I've got Max Homa plus 1,400. He's played well here. Willie Z's due for a big one. That's a big boost.
That's the boosted play from 1 to 8 was plus 3,000 boosted to plus 4,000.
Fucking A. That's a great boost. And then I've got Adam Scott plus 2,800. He's always played well here too. The dude's just timeless.
Top 7 last year.
So. Yeah. Played well here last year. So real quick, let's get to these hats. This is a phenomenon in golf. Just the pictures of, is the tweet?
The tweet
is just got the
should
one
have
hat.
all 4 of them, right?
Yeah. So it's these hats with the big letters on them, And I think if they're done well, they actually look good. Like there's some places like I'm gonna be a little biased here, but the Rose at Old Bridge where I'll be teaching this summer, I got a hat that just says Rose on it. Like that's cool. I fuck with that. But you've got a few here. What's mile? What is that? What does that mean? What is teeth? We've got these hats. If you're not on the YouTube, go check out the YouTube. But this has just been going viral because all these old school golfers hate these hats. And it's getting to the point where I'm starting to hate them too, just because they're in your face all the time and they mean nothing. So we've got one that says mile, one that says teeth, and then the all-timer, nut. Who's going to buy a hat that just says nut on it?
I am.
Like, they should just have the nut button. Nut.
I would love that because if I hit a good shot, I'd just be like, just point to the hat. Nut.
On that.
P. Hurst, by the way,
that's
lame.
terrible.
Horrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
Inverness, the club I remember
Nest,
at, they have the Nest.
That's a little rough.
It's a little cringy, but
yeah, it's cringe.
I'm going to probably buy one. 100%.
And then can we get the one reply? Because this one is fucking hilarious. And I don't know if maybe Spencer didn't send it to you. It's all good. There's one that says stoned on it. Like, you got that one? Yes, there we go. So it's called Old Stone. And maybe some people like to say that like when you get owned by a golf course, like you just got the name of the golf course. Like, so you just got stoned. Like, but that's kind of like a more fucked up term. Like stoning is kind of a messed up thing. Like,
yeah, but
if you're just stoned like marijuana, then it'd be hilarious if this is like an illegal weed state. Like you got stoned, but you actually couldn't.
Yeah, I do think it's cool. The old course we worked at, we got some hats that said Valley across it.
Yeah,
that's cool
because we call the place the Valley.
Yeah,
like,
there's some really cool nicknames for courses, like you mentioned the Rose, things like that. I feel like are
but
cool.
Then if it's just you can tell when they're forced.
Yeah, the P. Hurst is bad.
Yeah,
first like it's like is that one word? Is that two words?
Yeah.
What is that?
Speaking of which, maybe we get some BDE hats.
That's in the works.
Maybe we get some of those hats that just say BDE on them. You don't know if that's big drive energy. You don't know if that's big dick energy. It could be both. It is both. So
it is both and neither.
I will gladly rock one of those hats on the podcast once they're in.
Yeah, it is the goat hat.
Yeah, that would be goated. I don't know who in their right mind wouldn't wear that hat.
Yeah, and I do think to me, those kind of hats are if you're like a resort style place where people have to buy a hat, I think it's cooler to have that personally than have like a little logo on the side or a branded hat with a logo on the back. Or
unless your logo is like iconic, like Kiwa, you always buy like I've got some Kiwa hats.
Yeah. Did you notice like we've got some Kiwa stuff and some Mesa Country Club stuff? It's like borderline the same logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like the oak tree.
Yeah. It's like the same tree. Like how many golf courses in America do you think have just an iconic tree as a logo?
Hundreds.
Yeah, it's got to be the most popular.
Yeah,
far.
I will. My buddy Zach told me. I know we got to get out of here pretty quick. There's this place called Due Process Stables in New Jersey, which is like very, very high end, very exclusive, no cell phones on the property type shit. And I actually think I may get to play there this summer because the director of golf at the Rose at Old Bridge used to be an assistant there. But he showed me their logo, and it's like a green 4-leaf clover with like a horse head kind of like in the corner of the logo. It's like a sick fucking logo.
I love a good logo.
A
That'll
well
just
put together logo.
Make me buy a hat.
Pumpkin Ridge up in Oregon. I would buy that fucking so sick. It's got like a pumpkin in there and
Sleepy Hollow. Great logo.
I mean, we did a whole pod on this if you want to go hunt that down, but I feel like it's ever evolving. We just see new logos. We're like, wow, that's fucking dope.
Yeah, that's good shit. All right, let's finish our Hump Day Wednesday pod edition up with a little fairway or four. Do you want to start us off this week?
Yeah, I'll start us off. I'm going to keep it relatively short and sweet. I just think onion rings suck. Like, if we're talking food, onion rings are way too inconsistent. They're always so greasy. There's really no onion in there. It's just like a vehicle for breading, and they're always just so wet. I would take a sweet potato fry, a sweet potato tot, or just a regular tot or fry. Onion rings would be fifth on my board in that scenario. Marissa?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I like that.
Onions are a very onions are all or nothing for people. I feel like.
Yeah,
you don't
either-
kind of like onions. You either hate onions or you love onions.
Our mom loves onions, and we grew up like she would put onions in everything. And I think that might be partially why I just have heartburn just at all times, because onions just fucking wreck my world.
I like the smell of when you cook onions.
I was gonna say
No,
you
like,
if your
I like when
husband
you're, like,
just
cook-
fucking ate a whole
No.
thing of onion rings.
I like when you're cooking with it,
Yes,
but I
it's-
don't think I like the taste of onions.
It's like smoking a cigar. I love the smell of a cigar, but then when I taste it the next morning in my mouth, still I'm like, this is ass. All right, Spencer.
Yeah,
let's hear it.
they're overpowering.
Yeah.
Mine
Potent.
is so I'm all about the environment, generally speaking.
Okay.
But at the gym I work out at, they have no paper towels. And I hate that. I think you should obviously always offer the option of a
Hand dryer.
hand dryer. Great.
Yeah.
But having just that to me
Wild.
is why like I do not agree with it.
But
at
you need
all.
to shorten this to put it so like what give us just a no paper towels at the gym is wild.
fairway or four, no paper towels in a bathroom is wild.
Yeah, I would agree. And just hand dryers are just like your water from your hands is flying everywhere. Just makes such a mess. Do you know what else absolutely bugs the ever living fuck out of me is when people just stack paper towels and let their paper towels fall onto the ground.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves.
I will in any bathroom, I'll take my wet towels and push those towels.
I'll
down.
fucking get my jazzercise on and get my foot up in that fucking trash can and push it down. I hate it so much.
I know people.
It's the laziest thing in the world.
It's like basically not returning your shopping cart type shit.
Yeah, same
The
same vibe there.
they probably cheat at scrambles.
They do.
Yeah,
That-
those are the people that cheat at scrambles.
Yeah, if
you don't return your shopping cart and you let your fucking paper towels hit the ground in the bathroom.
Exactly, bums.
100%.
Just like us, bums. Follow us on social media. I am at Big Drive Spence. He is at Big Drive Mitch. She is at Marissa Iaz11. I can't ever pronounce that correctly because it's phonetically messes with me.
We're heading to Arizona.
Heading to Arizona. You're leaving tonight. I'm leaving tomorrow. We got Keeping It 100 Classic at Dobson Ranch on Friday. Really looking forward to that. It's supposed to be in the 90s. And after last golf tournament last Friday, and I was cutting diamonds all morning, I'm looking forward to be sweating. I'm a sweating kind of guy. I know you're not. We'll be down in Arizona. Enjoy the Wells Fargo Championship. We'll be back next week on Monday, recapping it all. And then Wednesday, previewing.
Maybe Tuesday.
Tuesday.
We got to figure out next week's schedule.
We got to line it out, but we'll be back next week to preview the second major of the year.
Jesus.
The Masters.
The first PGA Championship of the year.
The first PGA
First and only.
Championship. First and only. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.